Okay. CV2 and % tutorial. This is gonna be for the first split straight up. Start plus timer, boom. The timer should be negative 4.88. And I don't need a timer right now, it's gonna save state. Floor drops, that's a major glitch in this game. That's essentially what we use. The only thing you need to know is that it's based off sub-pixel value. Stairs when walking then resets the pixel value to 0, and that allows us to manipulate it correctly with certain movements for it. You don't need to touch the stairs in the beginning, starting out the game, because your value is 0 already. This is the setup. Jump up, jump down, jump up. Then you need to whip on the same frame that you walk off the edge. And what this means in plain fucking English is that you need to very quickly tap the whip after you tap the right button to get down from this edge. One frame in between. Boom. Practice it. Don't tap both of them at the same exact time. You need to do the right button one frame earlier than the whip input. Right. There is a perfect frame whip setup for that too. That is an extremely advanced method that I only recommend people going for if they are world record interested. Check our Discord for help on that. I'm not gonna cover it in this one. Other things about the subpixel generally, it changes every time you jump. So I changed it right there. If I jump one more, it changed back to what I had. It also changes depending on if you whip in air. So bottom line, you know you have the reset on the stairs. After that, don't fuck up movement, don't take hits from enemies, don't do any unnecessary bullshit air whipping whatever that change the value, because if you do, you're fucked and you will not be able to make the drops. So if you screw something up consistently, you're probably doing something wrong, and you should probably check another run just to see what the difference is. First agenda, I have an infinite game Unicode here for hearts, so I don't get affected by that shit. What you need to know, E stands for experience. Experience is not gained by kills, it is actually gained by heart pickups. There are 3 different hearts in the game. There is a small whole heart that is worth 2 in currency. There's a half heart, which is literally half a heart, is worth 4. And there's a large whole heart, it's worth 6. And you will know when you have a small versus a large heart, trust me on that one. The XP value for that is always gonna be 1 less than the whole heart's worth. So the small heart that is worth 2 is 1 XP. 4 is worth 3 XP, 6 is worth 5 XP. It means absolute jack shit for anyone starting out, but it is definitely important information to be able to utilize mentally, keeping track throughout the game as your speed and skill gets better. So get back to this once you want to know more about that. Level ups will gain more health, and it will also cause damage reduction when you take damage. Overall good shit to know throughout the game. Other shit that is very beginners friendly, I think we have an example here in this town. Just, if you're new to the game like I was and just don't really know much about the game itself, see if we can cover some of that shit right now. Here, this is a church, you see the cross up there. You can basically heal, talking to the priest inside here. It's always gonna be a time loss obviously if you do, but if you for whatever reason would like to heal instead of just risking taking a death starting out, that could save you a run or 2 in the beginning. Right, so we start with 50 hearts. We need the holy water and the white crystal, that is 100 hearts in total cost. So the first thing we're gonna do is get another 50 hearts. That is 13 heart drops that we're gonna get here. This is the beginner's grind. Never mash the whip. You have to time it manually, get used to it. Never mash it. When you enter this screen, stand on this third stone right here. Otherwise you will risk getting knocked back if you stand too close to the screen, say here. When you have 2 health right there, you know you're gonna get fucked. You cannot continue grinding, so you're gonna die regardless. Just take the death. Speeds things up. When you die on entry, you will have iframes once you respawn for a short period of time. Get 13 hearts using that method. It will always give you 1 death. If you take 2, you should generally always reset. This is beginner's friendly because it's a lot easier than the preferred grind. But if you want to go for top grinds for any percent specifically, you need to do the blood boost. And by taking this early death straight up, you're risking the entire whole fucking run later on at the halfway point. The other advanced grind will save you that life, but it is a lot harder to learn. But you will learn it if you give it time. I think for me it took like a good amount of 2-3 days of practice before I got really good at it. So, advanced method. Let's get rid of these first. Oh, okay. Just, adjust that slightly for the sake of it. There we go. Save state. So, the visual cue for this right now is going to be the second to leftmost tree. So not the first one to the left, but the one prior. You wanna jump forward and land with a whip when you're straight beneath it, centered. That's the first visual cue. So we jump here, whip, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. So that way you will always get that guy. Also, when you're killing these boys, you wanna delay that final hit, that 4th hit on them. Maybe 0.2 seconds or something, but it is to try to get that heart closer here, so you can grab it. Because the next step is going to be to respawn another one behind us. Boom. And in doing so, we will just keep going the cycle. And if we kill him, like way out there, like say he dropped the heart in the center there, oops, we're fucked. So that's why you want to delay that last whip to have the heart spawn closer to you. So you can see here, the enemy here that we want behind us, it spawns there. I think you have like 3 frames in between spawning that one and spawning this other guy. And once that happens, you know, you're in for a clusterfuck straight up. If it were to happen, this is the solution. Twice, turn, twice. Whoops, that was a bad example. Let's see if we can actually get a good one. God damn. That was a good example. So basically, whip twice, turn to take the damage, and just whip back twice again in the back. That's how we solve that. Another thing is, if you're too slow for whatever reason, he will shoot a projectile at you. So for instance, oops, it eats my input on the final whip, so I didn't kill him on time. I will take damage. It's too slow, boom. So you want to delay it, but not too much. Basically get 13 hearts using that method. It takes some time getting used to. It's not the worst thing in the world once you get used to it. But it's definitely going to be hard for you in the beginning because you need to learn the whip timing. You can't just mash. If you are too fast, the game will just eat that input completely. And if you're too slow, then you will just take the projectile up the ass. So get 13 hearts like that, and once you're done, just return to the screen here. Time-wise on the timer, you want to make that screen transition back at the latest when you hit 1 minute 10 seconds. That's still considered bad, like 1:05 is pretty average. 1 minute is pretty much what you want to nail, preferably, and anything faster than that is just great. I think I've had drops getting me to the screen transition at around 46 seconds, but that does not happen at all that often. Ultimately, it doesn't really truly matter too much when you actually get the grind done, because the final split time will not be determined by this alone. But it is important that you hit the screen transition before the 1:10 marker, because if you're too slow on the grind itself, you won't be able to continue the game. The reason for that is because this guy, you need to get inside here, which you can only do during daytime. So if it were nighttime right now, which will happen, I think at 1:30 marker or something like that, but it's very tight, so that's the first obstacle you have to do, is just get the 13 hearts, but you also need to do it in a certain amount of time, because now I can't even get into the door. So that's the first task. Gonna reset from here and we're gonna get a new save state. Right. So the other thing you want when you come back here with 13 hearts, just continue along this route here. Go up the stairs here. Now remember, you're reset again because you took the stairs. Do a jump over, don't jump whip, just normal jump. Talk to the boy. Do a jump outside here. Yes, it seems random as hell, but that's the setup. Talk to the boy here. Head out. Jump up. And do the drop. Boom. Equip. For this path, just try to follow general movement. We can actually load that again, because normally it's nighttime when I reach that point, so just to keep trying to roll the nighttime here. If you do manage to get there in daytime, enemies will take 1 hit to kill, except for the wolves, they are stronger. Some players do kill the wolves, I never do. But the skeletons take 1 hit to kill during daytime. During nighttime they take 2 hits to kill. Also worth mentioning, they drop small 2 currency hearts on daytime and half heart 4 currency hearts on nighttime. But generally you will get there in nighttime. So we're gonna showcase what happens with that, just so we have a good showcase of the movement for this segment. Just waiting on that night split. There we go. Boom. Alright. Just copy what I do, more or less. However you get past this is just up to you, and it's just time loss depending on movement. It's a little bit of freestyle, you know, whatever you want to risk or not, but this is how I do it. Movement variation varies differently from players to players, but this is essentially what I do. That was a good segment. That's typically what I aim for every time. See if we can just save that here. Now, we're gonna do another setup here. This one is a little bit tricky because I'm not 100% sure about the visual cue for this one. But we reset there and oops! The skeleton fucked us over because I had to wait for him to return there. So according to that one right now, I didn't spawn him prior, so if I jumped here, boom. So we probably need to get a little bit further ahead here, like so, because you saw him on the screen there now, and now you don't have to wait for him. So that's pretty much what you want. The setup itself is very easy. Just touch the stairs, just jump down, and then do the thing. And that was really bad and really slow. Much better. Alright. So here starts the second grind. If you reach to that screen transition and the timer is 3 minutes plus, that's generally bad. Starting out, your goal should probably be to hit that during the 3-minute transition. If you want to be a little bit faster, you should generally consider trying to get the sub 55, maybe even a sub 50. I've had people entering this like at sub 240 or something, so the time itself doesn't truly matter for the split itself. It's not necessarily a time save or a time loss per se, but the faster you reach this point, the more time you have to grind hearts, and that will help giving you a little bit higher favor to actually get past this random split. But the goal now is to reach 150 hearts. Pretty much just stand here in the door, kill that boy as well. I just copy the movement I do more or less. There are some variations between what movement people use, I guess, but this is the general idea of it. Just pick that heart up, return, jump over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the heart, get back. So the idea is to stand, and do this till the timer hits 4 minutes 45 seconds, optimally anyway. And once it does that, just return and deal with these however you want to do. That was pretty bad. Let's see if we can get a better example there for the end. Just jump with this boy, boom. No, that was actually a really bad example too. Strange. Let's see if we can at least save state here, so we don't have to walk as much. But you need 150 hearts, that's next goal, and we need it to get the chain whip. There we go. Nope. What the fuck, birdie? That kinda worked. I usually never have this much of an issue, but that kinda worked. So the goal is to get enough hearts, return in time before it turns to day again. Oh, that's another thing. If you stand here and toss holy water, it will just disappear, so just be wary about that. Touch the stairs, don't do any other unnecessary movement like a jump whip or a jump generally, because we are gonna do a drop inside here, so touch the stairs. And optimally, you wanna wait out till the daytime starts again, and you wanna stand here. And that will save you the most amount of time for the split itself. So during this, you are gonna level up once. A good level up is gonna be at the 3 minute 30 second mark. I would say, like, if you don't level up before the 4 minute marker, you're probably not doing too good on hearts, and it's likely gonna be a reset. If you want to gamble and continue till it turns day and see how many hearts you have, that's up to you, but 4 minute level up is pretty bad. 350 can still be acceptable. It's just RNG dependent how many hearts you're gonna get. Another thing worth mentioning in regards to leveling in general is that the more damage you have taken prior, the more time loss you're gonna get on the level up itself, since it will refill your health slowly. So optimally, this is the damage taken you want to have, because you're always gonna take 2 damage in the beginning, since you would deal with the first 2 enemies on the left of the town. But if you do everything else correctly, you don't necessarily... You should never take more damage than this. Optimally anyway. Of course you can still mess things up, but just keep it in mind. So, enter, throw the holy water. I think this is the spot. Yes, it is. And just drop down. That's literally the setup. Just going up from the stairs, getting in, we're tossing the holy water. Don't need to hit both of them, but it's best if you do. This is spot to do it. Just drop down. And that's the setup for next drop. And there is such a thing as a double drop, as I performed right there. It's extremely tricky to do. That's basically world record strats right there. Even world record doesn't include them. Speak to the boy, get the chain whip, and a split right there after I press yes. Apparently I don't have the game genie activated right now, which is pretty weird, but once you hit yes there, just split, and that's the first segment. You're done! That is the chain whip grind. That is part 1 of the tutorial, and generally if you do everything correctly, you should have approximately 520, 525 split. If you were to say, if you were, when it turns day, if you were to stand like way the fuck over here, because it took more time just to grind some hearts. Like let's say it turns here, we're gonna lose all that time you could have had saved by just standing at that doorway right there when it turned day. You're losing all this time just walking back here. Because you didn't need to do that, you could start here once it turned day. So optimally you want to be as close to this as possible, but you also want to have the hearts needed. Make sure you have the hearts. That is it for part 1.